Hey everybody, it's Lady, and I am here with Darren from the DJ Sessions. Go ahead, Darren, and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, this is Darren Bruce from the DJ Sessions, where we feature the best electronic music industry professionals from around the world. I've been doing the show here for a little over 14 years now. We're based out of Seattle, Washington, and we do a number of different things at our website. You can find out all that information and more at thedjsessions.com. That is thedjsessions.com. All our socials and everything there. 2,500 episodes over the years. Ramping back up to get 100 more hours of content. We just try to get the best of the best in the world. But, we work with everyone in the world. We aren't just looking for the top A-list celebrity DJs. We work with DJs that are just getting started. We like to help talent grow, get people out there. And electronic music is a very huge passion of mine. So, if it started when I was a younger kid, I first picked up a video camera at the age of 6. And then I'm going to date myself here. That was in 1980. I turned 50 next month, and it's about a love of playing with video and interviewing and capturing video moments and putting it on TV and the sets, to dance to, that people can go back and watch now for eternity because they're online. And you can find all that more and stuff at our website, thedjsessions.com.
Yes, indeed, you guys, and I will drop all those precious links so that you can have access to that. Easy peasy. All right, so tell us a little bit about the DJ Sessions.
Yeah, the DJ Sessions was a series that actually branched off from a broadcast television series that I'd started in, technically the first reiteration of it was in 2002, 2003. I was working in public access television since I was 18 years old, right out of high school, on a hip hop television show called the Cool Out Network, and worked on that show on and off for a number of years. We got an opportunity to do a local version of what would have been considered kind of like an Arsenio Hall talk show, local show that was syndicated here in the Seattle marketplace. Quickly became a production assistant to associate producer like overnight. Had to study everything about the world of broadcast television. And, I started talking with my producer at the time. I said, hey, we need contracts. We need to know what's going on here. And I got quickly ingrained in being the contract guy and the professional, doing it the way Hollywood does it kind of guy, I branched off from that show because they didn't want to do any contracts. And I was like, well, that's not cool. And I said, I'm going to go do my own. And that was in 2000, late 2000. I came back in 2002 and I produced my first show to the Fox affiliate here in Seattle, and I had exec credits on that. And then that was called Phantasmagoria, and it was a show that showed short films by independent producers. So it was like take local short filmmakers and put them on broadcast TV, where if you wanted to screen your film and get it into a film festival, you had to win to get in the film festival, and then it might play at a theater. Well, that theater might only have 50, 60, 70, maybe 100 people in it at most, unless you were one of the bigger name productions that got listed. Here, I could take a short filmmaker and put them on in front of 10,000 people watching our show all throughout Western Washington. So I started that show with, I had my film that I filmed in college, my first film I ever made in college when I was going to school. And I said, well, what am I going to do for the next 12 episodes? So I started reaching out to other filmmakers and organizations, and we had Phantasmagoria. And then we made a pilot for Image Nightlife, which later on became ITV Nightlife. I'll explain a little bit about that. And then became the DJ Sessions. And then we had Northwest Extreme Sports. And so I launched those brands, and I was sitting there with my producer in 2005 at the time. I said, you know what? We're going to have to come up with logos. We're going to have to come up with t-shirts, merchandising, websites, all this stuff for these three brands. I said, no. We're not going to do that. We better do something that's just going to combine them all under one umbrella. And I said, well, what is it that we do? We're sitting in this think tank meeting, and I go, well, we put our shows on YouTube did not exist when we were doing this. I mean, it was just infinitesimal, just launched. This is 2005. And we looked at YouTube as it's like TikTok now. People are just talking to the camera, doing their own thing. There aren't television shows being broadcast on TikTok, in the sense of it. You aren't watching 30 minutes or hour-long programs on TikTok, And so I said, well, we put shows on TV, and what do we feature? Well, we got short films. We have sports, local sports, anything you could break your arm or break a bone doing to. And we have local nightclubs that we cover. Right. And I said, well, all these things are kind of independent. They're independent short film producers, independent athletes, independently owned businesses, not corporate commercials. And I started going independent.
Right.
And I went, and we put this on TV, ITV. So now Phantasmagoria became ITV Short Films. Then we had Northwest Extreme Sports. That became ITV Sports. Image Nightlife became ITV Nightlife. And then we added on 5 more shows. We had video games, live music, comedy, art, fashion, restaurants. And we did pilot series on all of these and got like 9 separate television shows approved to air on 13 stations on the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
And when I went down to Fox to meet with them at their headquarters down in LA, at the Nakatomi Plaza, by the way, that's the Fox Towers they used for that movie and Die Hard. If everybody, you're all Die Hard fans out there. I went down there and I met with the vice president of West Coast programming. Only 2 people in the nation. He did West Coast, and then his boss was one of 4 people in the nation that oversaw him. He sat me down and he goes, Darren, how did you get 9 separate television shows approved to air on 13 stations on the West Coast?
I was going to ask you that.
He goes, because that's my job. That's right. This is the guy who sold Malcolm in the Middle and that 70s show to the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. I picked up the phone. I just made calls because I knew how to play the game because I'd already syndicated in Seattle. So then we were out looking for money for that. And then we fell into podcasting. The reason why we fell into podcasting is I was working for Apple at the time, and the only place you could watch video was online. It was like you put something on YouTube, and that was kind of getting new because people like putting video online was not conducive. Do you remember like the website eBaum's World? You might be watching a video that's like this big, you expand it, it's all pixelated, and you're like watching little videos like this. Nobody had got the compression down and all the technical stuff ready for it till YouTube came out with these kids who built it out of a garage, and then Google bought it. That's when it kind of went boom, and all that fun stuff. But we never took YouTube because we thought something like Hulu might come out, and we were a broadcast television show with broadcast credentials. We wanted to be in Netflix. We wanted to be on Hulu. That's what we were looking for. So anyways, where I was working for Apple, again, everyone's digesting and watching their shows via a computer. There was no way to carry around anything with you. The iPhone didn't exist till 2007.
Right.
And so what happened is late 2005, boom, the video iPod comes out. Crazy enough, they launched the video iPod. It was out in the stores. They had no content to put on them because they couldn't announce the deals they were working out with NBC, ABC, CBS, all these different platforms. Because if they would have done that, Steve Jobs was very secretive about what he did. He didn't want any leaks getting out that they were launching this new video player that was going to fit in your pocket and you'd be able to take it with you and watch videos. You could see this with there was the iPod and then the iPod Color, and you could put photos on the iPod Color. And I remember 2 months before the video iPod came out saying, if you could put a color photo on an iPod, what's stopping you from putting a color video on a smaller version of QuickTime? A month later, boom, the video iPod comes out.
Right.
And I said, okay, this is our calling.
Yeah.
So using my phone skill techniques, I called a few people in Apple and said, hey, we got this show. And they said, they couldn't tell me what was going on, but said, Darren, check the iTunes store on Thursday. They had revamped the whole iTunes store and they placed our series at number 48 out of 50 in the iTunes video podcast section. We were doing 5,000 downloads a week, 10,000 downloads a week, 50,000 downloads a week, 150,000 downloads. At one point, we were doing 300,000 downloads a week of our show.
Wow.
But nobody at the time knew how to monetize a podcast because it had never been done before. How do you sell commercials? There's no demographics. There's no third-party system like Nielsen or Arbitron for TV and radio, and it was just kind of really crazy. And we rose to position number 22. And I'm like, plus I didn't have to pay. I was paying $14.95, $15 a month to host on GoDaddy, where I paid, anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a week to air on broadcast television in my local market. And I'm like, this is our calling. Mm-hmm. So we had the show on podcasts for a while, jumped the way forward clock to 2009, and I started testing out some live streaming stuff and came up with the idea of, my friends were all DJs. I was very prominent in the nightlife scene. I said, well, what if we had DJs? We went out to the nightclubs and we filmed the DJs and we streamed them live online around the world like a radio show, and we could do interviews with them and all that fun stuff. And I bounced that idea around. My friend comes to me about 5 months after doing that and he says, Darren, I'm coming over to your house, doing the DJ sessions. And I'm like, but I don't have any DJ gear. And he's like, I can DJ on my laptop. I go, okay, because I was already going on Facebook and testing out the software, just like we were having a pre-show conversation about Riverside, and I was telling you about Restream, what I use. I was playing around with the software because everything back then was made for PC. It wasn't made for Macintosh, so I wanted to make sure it didn't crash on my Mac stuff. I didn't want to be in the middle of the show and it freezes up and everything. And so he comes over, we do the show, and I'll tell you, I was in that show for an hour. I had my headsets on. We're drinking wine. He's behind me. He's DJing. I had one camera looking this way at me with him over my shoulder. One camera looking down on him, and he's doing his DJ on the keyboard. And I went to go to the bathroom. I say this story all the time. I went to go to the bathroom. I took my headsets off, and it was completely dead silent in my living room, my little apartment. I lived in like the studio apartment. And I went, wait a second. I put it back on. I was in the party, and we were streaming. This is when you could stream live, and it would go directly to the Facebook wall, and people were chatting with us in the room. And I go, I thought I'd been in a nightclub for an hour. And I was like, whoa. So the next week I moved the studio into my bedroom, and I was doing that for a little bit. And a few months later, I got my first celebrity DJ to come by, Dave Dresden, to come by and play my bedroom. And right there I went, ding, 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 ding. The lights went off, and I said, let me start contacting celebrity artists. They come by my studio now. I have local DJs open up for them, and the DJ Sessions was born. At first, it was ITV Live, because ITV was the broadcast version. ITV Live was the live streaming version.
I remember that.
And then in 2013, I broke off and took ITV Live out of the mix, stopped doing ITV, and just made the DJ Sessions its own brand in late 2009, and bought studios. We got the mobile studio now. I got a website finally that said to 2013. It was a funny website. I call that the training wheel website. Then we got in 2018, I got the Honda website, and now we have our latest website version, and I call that the Ferrari of websites, where it's just like all of our content, everything mobile friendly, ready to go. And we have even more than that we've done since then, and more to grow with the DJ Sessions and everything we did. So it's been a journey. It's been a lifelong dream of mine. I love being an executive producer. I love being in charge of what I get to do with I worked in corporate America for years. As you mentioned, I worked for Apple for years. I worked for Nordstrom's. I've come from a sales background, but I like being an entrepreneur. I like being out there. And one of the missions that still stays true with the DJ Sessions, you can see this even in our pre-show talk today, is I'm always out there to help mentor people that are looking to get into this environment. The only thing I used to say, I'll give you 98% of the information I know, because now you can pretty much find everything online. I'll just help you get it there quicker. But after Pandy, that's my nickname for it, after Pandy, I kind of dropped that back to like 97% information I know, because I was getting so many calls in 2020 from people saying, what cameras do I use? What a DJ gear? How do you get this lighting? How do you get this? How do you clear copy? All these questions for like 6-8 months. And I was like, why aren't you just working with me, and then we're putting a show on, and I'll handle all that for you? You're trying to make me give you advice to make you my competitor? Like yeah, come on. I was still cool with it, but the only thing I won't ever give is my Rolodex. I have a lot of guarded contacts, information, networking that I've done. And if somebody says, hey, Derek, can you connect me with so-and-so at Twitch? Or can you connect me with so-and-so at, your sponsor company? I'd be like, no. That's not, no. I tell you, you can connect with them. You go spend the hundreds of thousands of blood, sweat, and tears that I've spent putting this together. You want to pay me as a consultant? Okay.
Hey, we
kick
can
down
talk.
that Skrilla. I'll be your business consultant and help you out like that. But no. Be respectful. Be cool about it. But no, it's been a fun journey, a fun ride. We're getting ready to ramp back up. We're looking at getting up to hopefully over 100 hours of content by the end of August with our interviews. We have over 600 news stories that publish to our site every month. 24 a day go out. Exclusive mixes. We have events here that we do in the Seattle area. With our mobile sessions, our rooftop events, our silent disco events. I'll talk more about silent disco later, but you can see I could talk on and on and on about it. You better stop me right now. I'm going to keep going. What's going on?
No, some of those things that you mentioned and brought up, I actually were going to touch bases to that. Now, let me ask, do you DJ yourself?
No, but I play one on TV.
Okay.
No, it's been a long-running joke that everyone thinks because I do a DJ show where it's called the DJ Sessions, like, oh, so do you DJ? I'm like, no, I'm an executive producer. I don't DJ. But in kind of a faux pas joke thing, there has been times when I've gotten up behind the decks and the show must go on, and I'm doing an event, and I'll hit that play button and have a mix, and I'll ghost DJ, I guess is what it would be calling. Calling it. And and people still have fun. They don't know. I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up making a bio on the website. And so my DJ name actually is the DJ ... Sessions. Give me a second here. I'll pull this up for you because I'll read a little snippet from my bio, and because it's kind of funny. It's like a joke on a joke. Just like I said, be a little humorous with it and have a little fun.
Yeah.
So my bio reads. You can find this all at thedjsessions.com, by the way. My bio reads, the DJ sessions is the DJ's DJ. He's not a DJ, he just plays one on live streams. Born into a video world but never wanted to kill the radio star, the DJ Sessions found a set passion for mixing video with one of his other passions, music, at a young age. While never actually spinning a record, putting in a disc, or loading songs onto a flash drive, the DJ Sessions has become a conduit for serving music to the masses. He has spent thousands of hours behind the decks watching how others do the magic of DJing, so it was only natural for him to get into the mix. Quote, pressing play to play other people's pressing play is the biggest honor, and playing other sets' music is what I do best, better than anybody. I get to share the sets and music that make me dance and have a good time with others, and that's worth millions in exposure bucks, something no DJ can live without.
Interesting.
It's just a parody joke thing. Yeah, I just created it's like a joke on a joke. Like it's like that Easter egg you would find on a website going, is he a DJ? Well, yeah. I press play to play other people's sets that they press play to, and then plan to claim it as my own, like Paris Hilton. I ain't getting no shout outs.
Right.
Paris Hilton, no disrespect, okay? We all know you don't really DJ though.
Right.
We see those cameras behind the stage. We know what's going on.
Yes, indeed. So
But,
I
yeah.
checked out the rooftop sessions. That
Yes.
did seem really interesting. I heard you say something about it. Tell us a little bit about the rooftop session.
Absolutely. So, I lived in a building in the early stages of ITV Live presents the DJ Sessions. I lived in a building, which I'm back in the same area in downtown Seattle, a Seattle area called Capitol Hill. And I had a rooftop there, and I would kind of host rooftop events up there and invite the DJs to come by when it was summertime to play on my rooftop. We had this beautiful 360 panoramic degree view of downtown Seattle,
Yes.
Space Needle.
Oh my
Everything was
God.
really beautiful and awesome up there.
Seen
And
it.
so set the way forward clock to about 2017. I started doing rooftop parties, partnering with the local promoters, and we had a really, really nice building we were doing them out of that overlooked the stadiums and everything downtown Seattle. And those were kicking off really well. And we were getting ramped up to do stuff. At 18 those went through. 19 kind of took a little break, and we were just pushing this huge push for 2020. Of course, happened. So had to put everything on hold for a couple years. But now the building that I just moved into, I was waiting 3 years. I lived on the worst last street corner of downtown Seattle. It's 3rd and Pine, but I've nicknamed it 3rd and Crime. It's been bad since I was a kid. People call it the Blade. It's the worst street corner ever. I won't go into details about that, but I actually started a website called thirdandcrime.org, and would have video camera. I would be out there 45 minutes before the news crews would happen, out my window on the 6th floor, top corner unit, looking out, and people would be tuning in. I'd have thousands of people tuning into my broadcast live on Facebook, and I'd be reporting on what was going on with, there was shootings or anything going on. I've been on the news 7 times down there.
Wow.
So yeah, it was bad, but I waited to move into the building I moved into recently for 3 years. Pandy put it on strike, and there was a concrete strike, so it took time to build. Now I moved in, and I got this beautiful rooftop on the 17th floor of my building that it's indoor, outdoor. It has almost like a 360 view of the whole area of downtown, no obstructions, and it's just awesome. I'm looking out my window right now because I live right below the roof on the 16th floor, and I'm like, yeah, I love my place.
Gorgeous.
So, and we do all those events in Silent Disco, which is an awesome technology. I can talk a little bit about that and what it is if people aren't familiar about it. Instead of amplified music, you put these headsets on and you listen to the music through headsets.
Mhm.
And the cool thing, that's cool. You listen, okay, boom, do headsets, but you got multiple channels you can change on the headsets. So I could have, basically with my headsets, I could have 7 different DJs playing at the same time, and then you can choose which channel you want to listen to. And go ahead.
Brings me to a question about those channels. Are those, because I was going to ask that, are those the green, blue, and orange channels?
Well, yeah, basically, my original headsets, everyone out there usually buys the 3-channel headsets.
Okay.
That's cool if you want 3 channels. Well, I wanted to do one better, so I got 4-channel headsets at first. Looking back, hindsight, I wish I would have got 7-channel headsets at first. So now I actually have 7-channel headsets. I have 400 of those, and I'm looking to get 1,600 more, so I'll have 2,000. And we're trying to rebrand and get out of the silent disco realm. We'll still stay in that side of the business,
Yeah.
And we have our new website, silentdiscos.events. That's silentdiscos, plural, .events. And I'm redoing, just got the domain name and the holders there. Got to get the template. You know, I can do websites and all that fun stuff. It's not hard. I got to get that up and running. And we want to be one of the premier vendors. But I want to launch and get into what's called silent concerts or silent festivals, where I could have 7 different stages going on and then bring in a headliner act at the end that would close out the show, all in silent disco headsets, so that you don't have to worry about noise variants. And you can give that much more opportunity to local artists or artists to perform at a major event with 2,000 people attending, where, you know, our major nightclubs in town, I mean, if you look at them, the ones that are owned by AEG and Live Nation and put their rosters only in there, you know, they don't do local shows really in the sense of things. Yeah. You know, they might hold 1,800 people. Well, if I could bring 2,000 people together and they could choose what they want to listen to, I could have hip hop, I could have drum and bass, I could have 70s, 80s, 90s, old school, I could have political speakers, I could have acoustic artists, I could have spoken word, I could have comedy, and you could choose what you wanted to watch when you wanted. I could have movies playing on a big screen movie. You could be at a movie theater, watch a movie if you wanted to, or video presentations, whatever it is, and you're having this experience all through the silent disco headsets. Let me grab something because I want to show something. I just found this the other day.
Okay.
The one thing that some people complain, sorry, I'm talking off mic, but the one thing that people complain about, or the old school people talk about, is with silent disco headsets, they don't feel the bass. Like, you're not feeling the boom, 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 you know, going. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, everyone in the world has got one of these now. Pretty much everyone has a smartphone. Yeah. Even if they don't have a smartphone, they might have a lower version of an Android. They might put music on that. It will be an MP3 player. They'll be listening to something through it because it'll connect to the internet. They can stream. They can watch Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever they're watching. They're all consuming that via headphones.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you get the person who's out there and just listening to their phone while they're walking down the street, okay, that's cool. But most people are respectful enough and they'll put headsets in. Well, we're doing the same thing with silent disco technology, and it's great, crystal clear audio. You can go 1,000 feet away from the stage and still hear like you're sitting stage front. Now, we've combined it with a technology. This is called a Wooger. Okay? This uses what's called haptic technology. Haptic technology, if you ever played a PlayStation or a Xbox, if you ever played video games before, and you know how the controller vibrates?
Yeah.
That's haptic technology. Basically, it's magnets that have audio, and they vibrate with sensitivity. So it's big, if it's small, it's little. Well, this will let our headsets plug into it, and you wear it. I wear mine like this, like the Iron Man. I call it the Iron Man Wooger, but you could wear it on your side, you could wear it on your back, and it simply just clips in, clips on, and boom, you have a cord going down, and it's there. And this will go with the bass, and when you change the channel on your headsets, this will change with it because it's feeding the audio from the headsets. Yeah, most other people's headsets don't have that ability, so we can do that. The only problem is that Wooger is 20 times the cost of our headsets.
Oh boy.
So you know, it's kind of like we take a credit card deposit when one of these things go out. But we've you get the puppy dog effect with the Wooger. People put it on, they get used to wearing it, and then they take the Wooger off, and they're like, give me that back. I want it back. And they're like, whoa. Oh, it's fun. There's other technologies out there, but they're usually like a vest that you wear for video games. And who wants to keep putting on a vest and do all this? This thing, give it to somebody, snap, clicks on. You know, okay, Wooger, I want my money now. Any plugs. Come on, kick down some sponsor gifts for us. But you just wear it and boom, there you go. Now I'm dancing. You can adjust the belt to, you know, comfort and all that. And, you know, I like silent disco because I'm known as a foodie online. It's not the DJ sessions.
Yeah.
Funny dancing videos I'm making of myself post on. It's probably a food pick. And I take the analogy of the food pick is like, I love an all-you-can-eat buffet. And so when I go to a nightclub, it's not that I love house music. I love music. But if I'm stuck just listening to one kind of music and I get tired of that, I'm like, But with silent disco, I can be like, hey, you go listen to the drum and bass stage. I'm going to listen to the house stage. Right. You go listen to the house stage. I'm going to go listen to the trance stage. Or if the trance stage is just blowing up and I'm digging the house shit, I'm like, well, what's everyone else doing? Whoa, that's really cool, you know? Or, you know, if I just don't want loud music and lose my hearing and get tinnitus, you know, I think that's how you pronounce it. I can turn the volume down on the headsets. I can turn the volume up on the headsets. I can control my experience. And they're very sociable. A lot of people think, well, you got headsets and you can't hear people talk. Well, then you just take the headset. These aren't a pair, but you can just go like this. Oh, hi, how's it going? Now I can talk to you and have a conversation. Some people go like this and they'll still hear the music playing, but they're having a conversation with their friends. They're not screaming over the music. You could be right up front stage, or you could be, like I said, 1,000 feet away. You're both hearing the music the same way.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool technology. I love it. Yeah. And what I've done with silent disco technology is because of that, when I went out to shoot my shows and I'm in the studio, I would get 4 hours of content. Well, now with silent disco, if I put 3 DJ booths up, I'm getting 12 hours of content in the same sitting that I get 4 hours of content. So I have tripled, if not quadrupled, my productions. And that goes like, if I'm doing that 4 times a week with 3 DJs, instead of getting 12 hours of content a month, I'm getting 48 hours of content a month.
Wow. Yeah.
And you know how podcasting goes. Most people, they're used to doing 1 episode a week, and that might be half an hour, maybe an hour at most. Some are 15, 20 minutes. And I'm doing, we're looking at doing 100 plus hours a month. That's just me. That's not when we expand and get our European setup, our East Coast setup, European setup, Far East setup, South American setup, and Mexico setup as well, with people being able to do interviews in those time zones with people that are specific to those countries as well. So we are going full international. That was a move that we made in 2022 to open the doors to be a lot more international than just the stateside brand as the DJ Sessions, which we were, because we did a lot of stuff local, because people were not in 2020 they weren't ready for Zoom interviews. Things like Riverside, like this, Restream did not exist. And if it was a Zoom interview, they didn't have microphones. They didn't have a studio set. They didn't know how to do their backdrop and set everything up. Yeah. Lighting sucked. Audio sucked. They were prepped for it. I didn't wear makeup for it. Weren't wearing the right clothes. Sponsor logos. Right. all that fun stuff. So, now that when Pandy happened, everyone was keen and knew, and they set a studio set up there. They could record a video mix because they were probably already doing a live stream during pandemic, and they know, fire up the cameras, make a live stream for the DJ sessions. Boom, they're probably already practicing anyways. So they just record a practice set and send it over and go, that's my exclusive mix for the DJ sessions. And, it's just wee.
Wow. Interesting.
Thank you.
So tell us about your events. Like, how do you, so I think I know you said the rooftop, they come to your specific apartment.
Correct.
Okay, what other kind of events do you host?
Well, again, so we have the mobile sessions, and that's where we take our mobile studio. I got the truck. It was a mobile billboard truck. I found the idea in 2007. I saw a truck driving around when I was doing ITV. And I saw it driving around. It was a glass box truck, and it had IKEA furniture in the back of it. And I saw it and I said, well, wait a second. If they can put furniture in the back of that truck, why couldn't I sit on that furniture in the truck, parked out in front of a nightclub with cameras in the back and filming me doing interviews with people?
Right.
I couldn't stop talking about this truck. You probably noticed I can talk a lot already. So just imagine this for 3 years. My truck, my truck. So I just manifested it in a sense. And so, in 2010, I bought the truck. It was very unique because it was kind of a one-of-a-kind only. Like, the company is iAlternative Media, is my advertising company that I have trucks here in Seattle and Arizona. But the DJ Sessions, or ITV, became its #1 client. So I can use the truck and sell advertising for that business. But then I got to use the truck because I found this guy wanted to charge me to use the truck twice a month for 4 hours each time. He wanted to charge me $1,500 every time I wanted to use the truck. And I'm like, but it only cost me $1,200 a month to air my shows on broadcast TV. You're charging me $3,000 a month to use the truck to film out of. I get it. But I thought he knew I was an independent guy and didn't have that much money. We're going to kind of partner on this. Then he comes and hits me with this price tag. I'm like, hopefully I can do this on your show. Nope. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay that. I don't have the money to pay that. So I thought these trucks might cost like $300,000. And I found out, no, the trucks cost like $100,000, $125,000. You finance it out, and I'm like, I was making his damn truck payment for him and paying off his mortgage. No. Oh. So I said, why don't I buy my own truck buy my own truck. And so I'll buy my own truck and I'll sell advertising on the truck and use the money I make from selling advertising to fund my TV shows. So I got the truck in 2010, built it out. We used to just park the truck because then technology, you couldn't drive around. It was a little too bumpy back there. But now as technology's gotten more digital, we now actually have outfitted the truck. In 2018, I put a sound system in the truck that you can hear from about a city block away. Not a New York City block or a San Francisco block, but a Seattle city block. Shows you how small Seattle is. But I mean, it's still, you can hear us from a city block away. And then in 2021, we put in flat screen TVs. Or maybe it was 2021, 2022. We put in flat screen TV so it has video walls on the side. And we got sponsored by Mackie right before that. So we have now a concert grade sound system on the truck. You can hear us from 4 city blocks away. And it's loud. And you got to wear earplugs in the back. And we can put people in the back like a party bus, drive around with a DJ playing. We film the show, multiple camera angles with riding down the street. And like in Seattle, you can't go out in downtown Seattle and not lightly toss a stone at somebody in somebody's general direction, say, have you seen that glass box truck with the DJs in it? And I go, uh-huh. I go, that's us. They go, oh. And we just started our advertising campaign on that because businesses didn't know they could advertise with us. A little slow comeback from Pandy and everyone recuperating with their ad budgets and business kind of getting back to normal. Yeah. Event spaces, nightclubs, all that stuff getting back to normal in a sense, as what they call it. And so now we're getting those doors. People are knocking on our doors that are really using the truck. I just got Capitol Hill Block Party. I got a reggae concert I'm doing advertising for. We've used it with the 50th hip hop anniversary on the pier. I got people that want to use the truck as a mobile stage now. We've done silent discos for Pride Parade. We put the truck in Pride Parade here in Seattle. We've done a lot of cool stuff with it over the years. And, you know, we make it really affordable for businesses that want to advertise on it. They could advertise on us with a 4-hour period for as little as $100 per week to run bumpers on the side of the truck as we drive around, get ads in our shows, get ads on our website, get pushed out on our newsletter, mentioned in our social media posts, all that fun stuff for just a little amount. So we really, like I said, I like helping the small guy, the entrepreneur, that business person, help them get more bang for their buck, you know, and get them out there without, you know, giving them like an Apple or a McDonald's or a Fortune 500, Fortune 100, Microsoft kind of bang, you know. Don't get me started on my floating billboards either. That's another thing, but that's not DJ Sessions related.
Yeah. So what kind of benefit could people gain from joining DJ Sessions?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because something that we haven't pushed that I really want to get started here. It does have international, worldwide appeal, but also there's a lot more benefits you get at the local level is our membership program. So you can become a DJ Sessions member or supporter of the show for as little as $4 a month or $50 a year. And that can get you access to tickets, get you entered to contests, to win free tickets to shows, win merchandise, guest appearances on the show. So if I have a celebrity artist on, I could bring you on. It's like, hey, ask your guest question. You're live in the show with us online, like in the waiting room. I could have like 4 members of the show come in and ask the person a question and then put them off in a holding room, like mute their mic while the artist answers. All those kind of things. There's different levels to our membership program. You know, you see people, you know, supporting many different things out there. I mean, a Twitch subscription, monthly subscription on Twitch. I'm not knocking them. I love Twitch. No disrespect out there, y'all. You're my homies. I love y'all. Please don't think I'm trying to take money away from you. Or you're already owned by Google pretty much, or no, Amazon anyway. So, you know, whatever, you know, Google's YouTube, Amazon's Twitch. I don't know. But, you know, you pay a $5 subscription or $5.99 a month subscription. And unless you're a featured partner, which we were one of the first featured partnered live streaming DJ shows on Twitch made in 2018, they'll take out of that $5.99, they'll take 50% of that money if you're an affiliate. So it's like you really only get $3 from it. Whereas like if you wanted to sponsor our show and really help us out and you were a member, you could do a $50 a year membership or $4 a month, and that's coming 100% to us to help support our stuff and our operations and what we do. And you know, if like you were a local person and you're entered to win contests and you have free tickets to a couple shows, you win a shirt from us, or you win, you know, something cool. and you're going to get something of that back. You get a member alone gets 50% off to all of our events. And as the tiers go up, you get more access and more tickets and more things to give away and all that fun stuff. Tickets to ride on the truck. And, we could ride and say, hey, only DJ Sessions members could ride on the truck with us.
Right.
So go buy your membership for $50 a year. And then you'll get a special discount code to get tickets to get on the truck. And then you can come ride the truck with us because you're our number one fans. And we want to give support to our fans that support us, and make it go like that. So, it's been pretty comprehensive ride. We're not just a show that features DJs and like, oh, I'm a guy, feature DJ, or I'm the DJ and I'm just featuring myself. Hey, no disrespect to people that do that, all right? I love you all. Keep doing what you're doing. We just want to be known like when we were doing ITV. I wanted something that rang in the bell. As a kid, I grew up with MTV, and so I wanted ITV, independent television, and the DJ Sessions was this show. Again, I said it was really stateside focused because we were interviewing the artists when they came to town. There weren't a lot of online things going on. And in 2022, I took that direction to really make it more of an international brand. And we opened it up to not just DJs / producers, we opened it up to everyone in the electronic music industry. So this goes now, we get PR, we get booking managers, we get tour managers, we get lighting designers, audio engineers, we get record labels, we not just DJs and producers. We're talking, if you use electronic music, you can be a country singer, and if you have a remix of your country music song done in an electronic remix, we want to talk to you. Right. Because you're doing something in the electronic music world that we would say that's newsworthy. Let's get that out to our fan base. People want to know about that. And when we do an episode, it lives online forever. Right. So, when you start, that's the power of it, is that you're going to get that PR exposure, that media exposure. So when somebody pulls up, we're going to tag your pictures correctly. Yeah. So, when somebody types your name on the internet and the images, it's going to pop up saying, appeared on the DJ Sessions. Yep. You tag on video, it's going to pop up and say, if it's thrown to YouTube. If we don't use YouTube as a platform very much because of some of the reasons what YouTube does when you're watching a video on YouTube, I don't agree with. I don't send people to Twitch and say, watch our shows on Twitch either. Love you, YouTube. Love you, Google. Love you, Amazon. Love you, Twitch. Please don't derank my shows. But I'm not hitting out on you. But we send all our traffic to our website. It's a searchable database. You type a name in, and we already have all the links to all the top celebrities that we've done on the site on the front page. But, if you want to see somebody local, they know they've been on the show, you just got to type their name in, and boop, it pops it right up in our database. And pops it right in there, and then they're searchable online. You could type in your name and the DJ Sessions, and your episode will come right up to the top because Google crawls everything. And so it's a win-win for everyone, and that we just want to be that. I mean, there's organizations out there that I would say that they're heavily financed, but from an independent level. We have sponsors, but we're not. People think I make $250,000, $500,000 a year doing this. It's like, no. This is still blood, sweat, and tears over here. We're knocking on the doors. We're looking for sponsors. To really do a show like this where I would see numbers coming in, I'd probably want anywhere from, if I had 6 sponsors at my sponsorship level, we'd be at $450,000 for the year. I wouldn't mind seeing 7 digits a year coming in to do this, to be able to pay everyone. I have to pay PR people. I have to pay people to write articles, people to maintain websites. I have to pay talent. I have to pay insurance. I have to pay all this stuff to do all this stuff. And, it's not about getting paid. It's not about getting money, but, it's a job. Right. I'm fortunate enough that way my life is set up, and I'm not a trust fund kid. I don't have Daddy Warbucks or Grandpa died who built I-5 and left me, a trust fund of $500,000 a year to the day I die or some shit like that. I'm doing this. If people knew my real backstory, they'd be like, "You're doing all that on this much?" Right. Actually, let's go like this: on this much. I once thought about doing penny stocks, just so people could invest 1 penny in my company, and I'd have to print out a financial report and say, this is how much in the red we really are. This is all the work that goes into this. So get off my back. And I did register as a 501c3 profit some years back. So that was nice. About a year ago now that I think about it, I got approved. We were a standard LLC before that. Well, we were a Washington State nonprofit charitable organization before that, but I got our 501c3 approval to go through. So now we're federally recognized as a nonprofit organization. And, we tap into we would look to tap into some grant money and stuff, but, it's it's the entertainment game. I tell a lot of people, it's not a poor kid's game. It's not a poor kid's game. You can do as much as you can with a free resource, but there comes that threshold there where you're gonna need a PR person that has that Rolodex that can get you the write-ups in the magazines.
Right.
You know, you might need that corporate contact person to book you corporate gigs, you know, to get in there and make money selling your services, or, you know, or even like as a DJ, you know, they got to pay to have their music mastered. They got to start a label, but then you got to promote that your track lives. Yes, it's cool. You can put it out there for free, but so can everyone else. I think when I was going to college a few years back, in my marketing class, my teacher said, teachers, I think it's for grade school, middle school, and high school, but instructor in college, professor, whatever you want to call it. He said at that time, this is like 2017, 2018, that over 1 million videos a minute get uploaded to YouTube.
Wow.
1 million videos a minute all over the world. You know, and how do you sort through that clutter and get it out there? You got to be able to stand above the pack, and you better have some dynamic content, something that is really hitting out there over and over and over and over again. And lo and behold, you do a weak ass episode, and that person tunes in and sees the weak ass episode. They're like, pass.
Yes.
You know, pass. Why am I going to F with this? You know,
Right.
and you know, you can go back and look at some of our early episodes. There's always an inspirational story that I don't listen to Joe Rogan, but I've watched his growth in the sense of when you look at his early podcasts and now how they're produced, you know, they were really crappy, but my biggest inspiration is Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. If you're familiar with Gary V, you go back and I saw this, he was doing this monologue about talking about something like making it a success or never giving up. And while he's talking, he had up here like a picture in picture, and it started with episode number 1, and it was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like every 2 seconds it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it was going through all the episodes he'd done. You could see it start out. It was really crappy at first, but it just got better and better and better and better and better, and more production value as the show went on. And he's talking about never giving up and just going with it. And that really inspired me to say, wow, if I look back and I go 2,500 episodes and put that kind of montage together of every interview I ever did and did a short little monologue, it's like following Gary. I can kind of plagiarize Gary. Love you. Don't hate me. I'll meet you in person, shake your hand one day. No disrespect. But, you know, it just blows me away of, you know, 2,500 episodes later, tons of stuff online. And we're not stopping. You know, we're pushing through because we want to definitely be that worldwide brand that people want to come back to every day. There's something new at the DJ sessions, whether it's a live interview going on, it's a guest mix, there's a news story, something popping up, and, you know, making that happen. So we are that repository for kind of independent underground, you know, electronic music. A lot of the blogs out there, not knocking on any of the blogs out there, so please publish my stories if I send them to you. But, you know, you know, we're looking for syndication deals. I'm talking with some people right now about possibly getting syndicated, my interviews and our exclusive mixes. I can't name any names. I just made the appointment today, but I've been trying to talk with them, knock on the door for a number of years. But, you know, a lot of these blogs out there, they're still doing writing pieces, you know, and with video and audio being so prevalent, they really aren't doing an interview. What they'll do is they'll send you a list of questions, and then you'll fill out the questions, and they might go and edit them up a little bit and then publish them to their website. What we're doing right here, this is genuine. This is real. This is improv.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going to say. You didn't send me any questions beforehand. I have no idea what you're going to ask me. Right. I run my shows the same damn way. And sometimes people get worried, and I tell them, hey, this ain't Oprah Winfrey. I'm not going to Barbara Walters you. I won't go into anything controversial unless you want me to bring it up. Or if you say something, then I'll touch on it. But this is get to know you. We want our DJ Sessions fans to know about you, is our goal here.
And I want my fans to know about you, because a lot of people are like, this is the stuff we want to hear. This is the stuff we want to know. Like, one thing I've learned about networking is you will learn a lot if you open and expand yourself. And I learned so much from you today that I'm just at a wow. Like, I'm lost for words.
Thank you. Yeah. There's a lot out there, you know, and it's hard to take it in when people are working a 40-hour job, if it's 40
Yeah.
hours straight, and then they got to spend 10 hours getting back and forth to work, then they got
Right.
their downtime, they got to sleep, they got to eat.
Mhm.
You know, you look at all that time, and then you got a social life you want to put into play, and you got to manage all this. And usually, I remember that when I worked to first start my first business, PSI, which was going to produce Phantasmagoria, PESI, and I was going to the Small Business Administration meetings, and there was a book that I opened up from the SBA, Small Business Administration, and it said 98% of small businesses fail within the first 2 years. And that's because of lack of planning, lack of capital, lack of all the stuff you can put into it. And the other one was that, what was it? The hardest thing that people are going to understand is most people come from a punch in clock, punch out clock. I'm at the office at 8, I leave at 5 kind of world.
Yep.
That when you go into the entrepreneurial mindset, they don't understand you are on 24/7. It's a life shift. It doesn't just stop when you punch out at 5. You'll be sitting there at 7 o'clock at night and be like, idea. Or, hey, this came up. And you got to learn how to manage that, because then you start becoming your own boss, your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own accountant, your own lawyer, your own graphic designer, your own website designer, your own video editor, your own audio engineer, your own video engineer, your own camera person, your own host, your own marketing person, your own marketing and advertising, 2 different things. Marketing and advertising, 2 different things. Your own accountant. I don't think I said that one. Maybe I did. You also got to become your own salesperson. You know, you've got all this going on now, where when you work for a company, they have those different infrastructures. And like, I have people all the time, they're like, oh yeah, I can sell. Okay, where do you sell? Oh, I work for XYZ company. Oh, you mean you were a customer service associate? You weren't responsible for buying the product. You weren't responsible for the $1 million getting that in the store, marketing and putting all the commercial ads out there to do all that stuff. No, you were commercial. And trust me, I've been on that side of the fence. I've worked, like I said, for Nordstrom's, Apple, a number of different outside, sales organizations, inside, outside sales, commission-based sales, all that fun stuff. I love it. I love customer service. I love making people smile. At the end of the day, I want people to have a good time. And when my product, the DJ sessions, I want them to have a memorable time, a good time, and a time where they can also be part of the show, and have ownership in that experience as well. Yeah. Whether it's coming to our events, taking place in our chat room while we're live, or being a member and being able to jump in the chat room or in the show with us and ask their favorite artists questions, celebrity guest questions, things like that. So, yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. So, what do producers and you mentioned somebody else? I mean, another title that you so like, what will they gain out of it?
You mean like a music producer?
Yeah.
I mean, usually if you look at what DJs traditionally do, just DJ alone. DJ takes somebody else's music, puts it into a player, hits play. Then they take somebody else's music, and they're playing that music, and they mix it together so it seamlessly plays together, and you don't hear the transition go from one track to the other, and you're all dancing on the dance floor.
Right.
The producer produces the music that the DJ plays. Most DJs now are becoming producers. Some producers just produce music, but they've also said, no, I DJ too.
Okay.
So there's a fine line that has gotten much smaller, because the equipment that it used to take to produce, DJing was get some turntables, buy some records, you learn how to DJ.
Right.
Computers back then were $5,000, $6,000, to make music. Nowadays, it's gotten the cost to make music and the entry level to get into producing, the entry level to get into DJing has gone.
Wow.
That almost anyone can do it. You got 12-year-olds. You probably got 8-year-olds that are probably younger than that. 6-year-olds that are like, okay, and they'll get up there, and then once they learn how to waveform that, they learn how to mix the beats together. They're golden. People would be like, they would literally say, I've been DJing since I was 4. I've been DJing since I was 6. You'll hear that come out probably 10 years from now. DJ will be like, I've been DJing since I was 6 years old. Stuff like that. So, that being said, back in the day, most DJs, I was talking to a kid, he was on my show 11 years ago. He was 20, he just turned 33. He was 22 when he first wanted to come play on my show. He's like, damn, it was that long ago? I go, yeah, dude, we had the studio back then in 2013 was when I first met you. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So even then it wasn't necessarily easy for DJs to break in. There was gear people would get, but it was an investment. I mean, Macintosh computer, they had Logic and all that fun stuff to make music as well. You could get a decent laptop for a couple grand, put Logic on it for another $800, and you'd have a portable studio creation, get a monitor at home, and you can start making beats at home with Logic. Or Fruity Loops is a huge one that's still around. FL, okay. They call it FL Studio now, but us old school cats know it's still called Fruity Loops. Ableton's a program out there. I used to be able to teach people how to use the software, but I didn't teach them how to do music production.
Wow.
That's a whole, I can teach you how to navigate the software if you want to make music, but as far as making music, I'm not a composer. I've dabbled a little bit to make some stuff for my shows in the past, but nothing crazy. So, I mean, for a producer, obviously we'd be a place where they could, well, here's something, I guess I'm glad you brought that up, because something that's not launched on our website yet, but I built it into the website. When I built the website, it took me 3.5 months and about 80 hours a week with some help from my dev team to build the Ferrari website we have now, is our website is actually set up. We've been toying with the idea for a few years now to actually start the DJ Sessions label. So we're wondering, do we do it internally with our own artists and promote those tracks from internal with our resident DJs, resident producers, or do we open up the doors to start taking in submissions from other DJs and other producers and then list them on the site? Our site is already built with a seamless radio player. As you're surfing through the site, you can listen to songs play. You can also it's already built with an online store, so you can put up albums in the store. You can buy each individual track in the store and set up with all the links and everything that people have. That's the version. It's on version 3.2 right now. That'll probably be version 3.3, or when I go to launch it and just revamp a little bit up to version 4. Some other things so that's where a producer could maybe come in and take advantage, and then we'd obviously do interviews with them, promote them on the site. We'd have our DJs play their tracks in their sets, so they're going out there. We probably promote it to all. If I have a list of right now. I have 5,600 DJs in my database. My list isn't even done yet. It's about 22,000 DJs long that I have to go out there, rank from number 1 to number 22,000. And I can push a button and go, hey, every DJ that's appeared on the show, here's a track we're releasing from the DJ Sessions. Play it out. And they pick it up and be like, I like this. Boom. And they start playing it out to market that for producers. That's in the works. I mean, I've thought well and far ahead of this game of what we could do as a brand that I don't see a lot of other brands necessarily doing. They might, they're big here, but they do really small here, and then it fizzles out and they don't go with it. So from a production standpoint, producer standpoint, that's where we're going to really shine. Obviously Pandy hit and put a big in our operations and mix, and had some other things that happened over the last year, which I was telling you a little bit about before the show began, but I won't go into that because that has nothing to do with the DJ Sessions really. But we're ramping back up. We're looking hopefully later this year, if not early 2025, of starting that label side of things up. That produce. The problem is, though, I've talked with a lot of label owners or DJs, producers that own labels, and if I open up that floodgate and start taking submissions, who's going to listen to all those songs? And then, it's like, if I got 300 submissions a day, even if I got 20 submissions a day, that's 600 submissions a month. Can I just sit there and listen to each one of those tracks? It could be 3 minutes. It could be 7 minutes. And I got to listen to the thing the whole way through to see if it's good, if it actually peaks or does something. How do I gauge that? Unless I could build some AI model that said, hey, AI, screen this song for me and tell me if it's good, and it rates it for me. That'd be really cool. I don't think it's there yet. But, I mean, they say that they get 300 submissions a day. How do you listen to 9,000 submissions a month? You just can't, And so you kind of take what you know is good, and, you kind of work with a few select people.
Wow.
To make sure you're getting good quality stuff. And if somebody keeps submitting good quality stuff, you're signing it. You're bringing it up, So we'll start slow at first. We'll work with a few people. I got enough contacts to say, hey, we open up a label. If you're looking at sign, we probably won't do exclusive deals. It'll be like, hey, we could do a bunch of different types of deals. We might just say, hey, we're a label. We'd love to have your track signed with us so we can push it out through our medium, but we're not going to take exclusive rights on it or anything like that. Or we could have exclusive rights to a song and say it's only going to be on our label and we own the master, or sync licenses and all this stuff for it, and blah, 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 blah. And take it on that way with royalty payout. That's a whole nother can of worms. So I would probably want to be up and running enough where I could bring somebody on to handle that division of the company for me that knew what they were doing and saying, okay, you run the label of DJ sessions, and I'm kind of overseeing the production of the DJ sessions. I would even stop hosting the shows myself and place a new host in. I would talk with a production manager or associate producer. They would say, okay, you're handling the production, making sure the shows are being produced. And I'd be up here going, okay, now let me go do the other 15 more things for the show that I want to add on. You know?
Wow, you have a whole lot going on. You seem very, very busy. So if I wanted to come and join one of the events, what would I have to do?
Easiest place to go to find out our event roster, which I'll be updating here shortly with all of our events. And all of our events are usually streamed live online with the exception of the mobile sessions. We can stream that live online as we drive around. I may set it up to where something will go live when we're driving around. I'll figure that out. I know how to do it with technology, but you can go to our website, the DJ Sessions. I mean, you type in DJ Sessions, something else might pop up. We should still rank up there pretty high.
Yeah.
But thedjsessions.com, go to the top, click on events. It'll bring up all the events that we have going on.
Perfect.
And all of our shows are broken down under archives. It'll go with the latest show in the archives and play, all the way down chronologically. But you can click on the different genres of shows as well. And if you just want to see mobiles, like right behind me right now, what was playing was Dr. Fresh in the back of our mobile studio. If you look right over the corner here, it's blown up. That was a fun one. I met Dr. Fresh. I actually started listening to Dr. Fresh right before Pandy, probably 19, 20. And fell in love with him. Really great guy. Got a chance to interview him on New Year's Eve for 2021 into 2022. Or no, 2021 into 2021 into gosh, were we in 2020? 2022 into 2023. And I met him backstage. We were interviewing him, and I showed him. It was so funny because the last song that I played on my phone was one of his songs. And it's my favorite song by him, and it rocks out in our mobile studio. So I'm behind stage, I show him my mobile studio. He goes, okay, Darren, I got something really cool to tell you, but you can't bring it up in the interview. You can't tell anyone. I'm planning a big tour, and Seattle's on my stop. And when I come to Seattle, I want to be in the back of that truck, and I want to play a set. So he drove the truck up to the front of his hotel, picked him and his girlfriend, who I think might be his fiance now, up, popped in the back with a photographer. We drove around Seattle for like 45 minutes with Dr. Fresh playing in the back. This is actually our Roku channel, by the way. We got Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google Play. Our app is being resubmitted back to the iTunes store, back to the Apple App Store and Google Play. We had to update it, some back-end stuff, but that'll go up here pretty quickly. So you can actually get the app for your mobile device, watch our past episodes there, watch our live streams, find out our events. Please get our merchandise. It helps donate to our cause. We got some really cool stuff there on our store. Very easy to order. But yeah, everything is at all our socials and everything at thedjsessions.com. Yeah, Perfect. This is a fun episode. This one rocks. I'm just like, now, imagine you got like a huge sound system on this truck rolling around down the Seattle city, down your city streets, and they got like 7 or 8 people in the back just dancing out, partying. Yeah, everyone just like this. They pull out their phones and they're like, "What the hell is that?" Right? How do I get in that? We sell tickets to ride in the back of that.
Want that?
Imagine $50 for 4 hours, BYOB. God, you can't even get a party bus that cheap.
Killer deal. Yes. Oh wow. Whew.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Well, when you come out to Seattle, we'll have to get together, get you some passes for some events, and have you check it out. Where are you coming in from?
Texas.
Dallas. Dallas. All right. I'm in Seattle, obviously. Yeah. But that's pretty much the DJ sessions in a nutshell, and fun stuff. So
perfect. So what kind of feedback or advice can you give our listeners and viewers?
Regarding
anything, whatever comes to mind.
I guess one of the things that has kept me going is kind of a statement with the show, is that I've always been in some way, shape, or form in film and television business. as a kid playing with a video camera, taking the first video production high school class offered in our state when I went to high school, coming right out and working in public access television, staying tech savvy with what's happening out there. When I started producing the show, I realized one thing, and it's kind of a statement that I live by. Why you see me even doing everything that I do is the statement: the show must go on. And I'm not going to sit around and sit on my butt, sit with my thumb on my butt, and say I'm going to wait for something. I'm going to wait for somebody to come along so they can fill this position, and then I'll start doing the show. It's like, no, I'm going to do this. If I have to host the show, if I have to produce the show, if I have to video the show, if I have to be the camera guy, the audio engineer, the marketing guy, the website, if I have to do all that, fine, I'll do all that, because the show must go on. And don't let any haters stay in the way. Obstacles can come in your life. People may not understand, like I said, what it's like when you become that hobbyist to extreme hobbyist, to where you're going to say, I want to get this and become an entrepreneur, really take it to a business level. Just keep going through. I just took almost a year hiatus off, like last year. I'd say almost 6 months, 8 months, just for different reasons. Just in the last month and a half have I gone, click, okay, it's time to start dancing again. Let's go. Whee!
Right.
And made some changes and stuff going on. And now I just feel it all coming back, and that's such a great feeling. I was even last year, I was like, at one point I'm sitting there going, what is one more interview going to get me? Why am I doing this? What's the purpose of this? Another interview. I wasn't dreading it. I was just like,
right.
I felt like I was just, the wheels are spinning, but going nowhere.
You're right.
I didn't have purpose or cause or focus or direction. And, I finally just kind of, what am I talking? Shut up. Get back in the saddle. Start sending emails again. Because my mechanism is there's a good book out there called Good to Great. And it's a book talking about these people. They did these studies on these companies, and they did why these companies, all of a sudden, there was leaders in the industry. Let's say this company was making razors. They were leaders in the industry. And then this company came along, and all of a sudden they went and took off, and this company went and went out of business. And they did studies on all these companies and interviews of all the top CEOs of both companies on many different sectors, and they came back and they kept aggregating the same data over and over again of what they did to make these changes to go from good to great.
Wow.
And one of the things was once you get the flywheel going, the first time you start doing something, it's really hard to get that wheel and push it around to get it to go one time around. You might push it and it goes halfway around. It might go a quarter way around. But to get that momentum going, it goes around once. But once you start getting that flywheel going, you can walk up to it and go, bing! That much effort now keeps spinning one time around. And if you got multiple bing, 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 hitting that, it's going. That's one thing I take away from that book. There's some other good advice in that book, Good to Great, but my top 10 books, I'm rereading Getting to Yes. That's a great one. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Think and Grow Rich, a 1 Minute Manager, How to Win Friends and Influence People. But my top one is called Games People Play. Really isn't much to do about sales, but it's a top one that I recommend people so they can avoid what I call getting a certain this is a word, but most people won't know what it means, but transactional incidents, where they can kind of see things before they happen. They go, I'm not playing that. Okay, I see what's going on here. It's not like a lie detector, truth detector test or anything like that, but it's like, Right. But those books are a really good piece of advice. I think there's a lot of great knowledge in there to get people motivated, to get you thinking, to get you on the right path. There's probably a couple other books that I could think of that I've read. I'm actually rereading Getting to Yes right now because I'm getting ready to get in sales mode. A very big New York Times bestseller. There's a ton of knowledge out there. And back in the day when Barnes and Noble was still around, don't let anything stop you. There are libraries out there. There's Amazon books. There's ways to get stuff. There's sessions, there's sit-ins with SCORE and the Small Business Administration. Tons of resources out there. We got the damn internet, look it up. Go. Right. I am a big proponent of the Dummies series. Have you ever seen those Dummies books, like Internet for Dummies or Facebook for Dummies? Those are great. You could pay $34, $35 for one of those books. And I would say they're equivalent of a 100 level, 101 level, college level class for $35. You read, and I worked for Apple and I was a trainer and I'd sell books on how to train for Final Cut Pro. People thought they'd come in and get a 1 hour session. I was going to make them Steven Spielberg. I'm like, that ain't how this works. I'm teaching how to use the software, not how to direct a film, not how to edit a film, and people would come in and try to have me edit their movies for them and stuff for $8 an hour. I'm like, no, that's not what I do. I'm training you how to use the software and you go get the books. But what I told them is get the Final Cut Pro training book and do one chapter at a time, which will be about an hour long, and then put that book down. Then come back, open it up, and do chapter number 2, and then put the book down. And there's usually only like 13, 14 chapters maybe in the book, and then you can always go back and use it as reference. But by the time you get through that book, you're going to know how to use the damn software. Know how to use the software. You're not going to become Steven Spielberg or George Lucas.
Right.
Or Quentin Tarantino. But at least you know how to use the software.
Yeah.
And you won't maybe have to pay somebody $7,500 or $75 to $150 an hour just to cut your footage together, because you'll know how to use the software. Like, you know which knife to use in the kitchen now. You know which pan to use. You know how to make a ramen. I probably said that wrong. A white sauce. You know how to do the basics. But you ain't gonna become damn Gordon Ramsay.
Right. It was funny.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that information. Sounds so exciting. I need for everybody to tap in with Bruce here at the DJ Sessions.
Yeah, the DJ Sessions. Yeah. TheDJSessions.com. Check us out. TheDJSessions.com.
You heard him. Hey, so.
You